XRP is about to make so many happen in 2021. This message is for all XRP holders. The news has not been favorable for SRP holders, but how about technically? How about in terms of price movement? Today, I'm about to share with you a full detailed analysis on the technical price action of SRP and why I feel that SRP is going to be one of the top, if not the top performing altcoin in 2021. I am Makaveli trader. If you've not subscribed, do support me by and subscribing if you find this video quite informative. Now, before I start, I will say that this is not a financial advice, and if you're going to buy or do anything with this information, make sure you do your own diligent research. Now, let's jump right straight into it. I am going to first start with a clean chart, right, before I start showing you the patterns and the confirmations that I've seen in this price action. Now, first of all, what we're seeing here is a long time period of accumulation zone. Like, this is like home to SRP. So this is like the floor to SRP, because we see that even all the way from 2017, that is where the first dump was caught, right? The first dump was caught, it reacted, it slided up, it came back, the same zone again, it reacted again, pulled up, came back again, the same zone. And no matter how it felt, it could not cross below this support. So what I'm trying to say is right now is SRP is sitting on the throne at home, and it could start making big moves from here. Now, let's go deeper into this and see a better view, right? Now, this is my weekly chart. What I'm seeing here is that after the whole fall from the dump of the 2020 December market fall, you can see a real clear bullish candle following this candle sitting right on the same support. Now, mind you, like I said, this is an accumulation zone, so price is not finding it easy to break through the countless accumulation and support below this zone. So what we see here is that bulls have started buying from the zero point 0.2 support and have been constantly adding to their position, and I'm going to prove to you why I feel they have been adding to their position. So if I go all the way down here again, I see that in the past there's a pattern that played out on SRP just before the last pump we experienced, right? The pattern was the same accumulation zone happening, right? But there was this pattern called the inverse head and shoulder. Now, this is actually a bullish pattern, right? A very strong bullish pattern. The opposite of it, which is a bearish pattern, is called the head and shoulder. I'm sure you've heard about that pattern, right? The head and shoulder. Oh, you hear a lot of people say, oh, head and shoulder on 1 hour, oh, head and shoulder on 4 hours. Now, this time frame is higher time frame. This is a long-term overview of what is going to happen on SRP on the weekly chart, the daily chart, and the 4 hours chart. These three charts time frame will explain better what we should expect at the first quarter of January of the first quarter of 2021 from SRP. So, like I say, the inverse head and shoulder is supposed to lift SRP from the floor. That is what it is meant to do, because first price was dropping at a high speed. When it got to the support, there was a bounce on the support, then but instantly it was pushed down to break the support, finding yet another support below it. The first support time it touches the support, it made a left shoulder, right? Now, when the support break down the second time, the first time, to find a stronger support below the first support that has been holding for quite some time, it then was instantly bought back, right, to go back to the top of the support. And that's what we had here, the formation of our head, because that's the low support, the lowest support on the weekly chart. That is where that is around 0.1 zone to 0.9009. That zone, that is where the support is, the major support on XRP all time, right? But what we saw is that this drop was instantly bought back to be pushed above the zero point 0.2 support, thereby giving us our right shoulder, right? So if I turn on my volume, you see change in volume, right? When our right shoulder was forming, right? The good confirmation about this pattern is volume, right? You use volume to confirm the pattern, and right now we can see clear volume that form on the right shoulder. Now here's the thing you must know about inverse head and shoulder. When it broke out from the neckline, now this is the neckline, right? This happens to be our neckline. There is always a retest of that breakout, and that's exactly what we saw on the weekly chart. A retest, nothing but a retest. Why do I say nothing but a retest? You will understand as we go further into this analysis. So the next analysis I'm going to look into now, mind you, take note of this inverse head and shoulder, and the reaction that we saw was to the upside. You can see the reaction of this inverse head and shoulder, so take very note, because we are going to see the same pattern forming on another time frame. So if we go to probably this time we go to the daily chart, right? It start getting interesting. Now mind you, in the past where we had our inverse head and shoulder was around this zone, but the good thing is that the same inverse head and shoulder is currently forming on the daily chart. Hey, isn't that amazing? It's amazing because it's going to lead to yet another measured move, right? That is what it does. So before that, we will talk about the triangle, right? The triangle we're seeing right here. Now, the triangle is quite it can be bullish, it can break up to the upside, it can break down to the downside. Now anything can happen when it comes to triangle, so there's no much thing. It just depends on the supply and demand at that particular time when the price gets to the apex. Now this is the apex of the triangle. Now one thing I am expecting is that this is a bullish triangle. Why? Because of the trend that formed the triangle, and most times when such a triangle is formed, it always breaks to the upside to continue the trend. So if the trend was downside, the break it's going to continue the trend to the downside. If the trend was upside, it's going to likely continue the trend. And for our last pattern, the inverse head and shoulder on the weekly, it shows that clearly XRP has broken the all-time resistance. You can see it was a strong resistance right here and right here, and another hit right here. So you see the strong resistance was broken to the upside, showing you that the trend market structure was clearly changed. So right now might be the best time you have, or the last chance you will have, to buy cheap XRP at this zero point 0.2 zone, because once it goes above 0.35, you might find it hard to get 0.2 again. Now I'll explain why I said so. Now this inverse head and shoulder is likely going to also affect this triangle, right? This inverse head and shoulder is going to be the bull's key to the upside. This is what the odds they're having against the bears, the odds they're having against the down push. Now here's the thing, stop loss hunts could happen, right? So those who bought at this point, right, could experience a stop loss hunt. Those who bought at this particular zone, if I zoom in, those who bought here could experience, because their stop loss is likely going to be either here, they wouldn't want to extend it as low as here. So there could be a stop loss hunt whereby price will break this trend line that is already holding since December. This trend line has been showing upper movement to the upside. The market structure was clear, higher lows and higher highs. So what if price eventually breaks this trend line to seek for this support at 0.2 level, right? Yes, it is possible, but also the chances are still high for the upside to continue. But yes, I will admit the fact that anything is possible, because if the supply pressure goes on, it will break the trend line. To market makers could be hunting stop loss, and then we could have it breaking down to this support before it finds its way all the way up to break to the upside, right? So it's going to be a stop loss hunt, clearing probably all the stop loss located right here, right? It will clear the stop loss, then the same market makers will buy this SRP and take it all the way to zero point 0.5 zone. But the thing is, there is a resistance in this zero point 0.5 zone. Now, this is where the resistance is. So we could get a reaction. Now, mind you, this is daily chart. We could get a reaction in this 0.51 to 0.55 zone. We could get a reaction to hit back 0.4 zone for a retest of that breakout. 0.44 zone, yeah, 0.39. It's going to likely retest that breakout, right? Why I say so is because of the midline in the middle of the triangle. So we could see a retest of this breakout, and the retest could actually just have a little drop into the triangle before finding the strength to break that resistance that is located at 0.5 to 0.52 zone, right? Between 0.49 to 0.52 zone. Then the next thing we're going to have is a target to hit the 0.7 zone to 0.79. That is going to be the major break for SRP. Once SRP breaks this up, then we're going to have a straight move to $1. It is clear. That is what I'm seeing on the daily chart. You can see the effect of so many patterns playing out. The triangle is playing out. It's still on the bull side. The inverse head and shoulder is going to play out. It's still on the bull side. So we see a lot of potentials. I will not be surprised if SRP beats Bitcoin to the rest of 2021 run. It's going to happen. It's going to be like an explosion to the upside. People won't say it because why? Here's why. Now, let's see a triangle. When you want to trade it, you want to trade a measured move of the formation of the triangle, right? So a measured move is all the way here, right? That's our measured move. Clear measured move, right? Of our triangle. We'll start from this point because that's where the breakout happened, right? So this is the clear measured move. If I take this arrow and place it here, right? It is $1 on the dot. Target. Did you see that? It is a clear $1 target. The profit is over 300% from this current zone. It is right now trading at 0.2 cent 9793 on the dot. That is the price it is trading as I am making this analysis. 0.298 zone. That is the zone it is rightly trading, which means that from now we could be seeing a lot of explosion to the upside. This is not a financial advice. Do your own diligent research. But what I see is incredibly beautiful right now on SRP. Now, if I go closer and we have a closer view, I'm talking about the 4 hours. Now I'm going to turn on my exponential moving average so that we have a little indicator to tell us what the indicators are thinking about the moves, right? The first analysis is no indicator involved. Now, mind you, this white line is our triangle line, right? So you can see how it is being respected. And so far we had 3 touches on this lower trend line of the triangle, which is quite amazing, telling you the price is holding up. This is 4 hours chart. And the beautiful thing is the higher lows being printed on each touch of this trend line. See how beautiful the accumulation went on this support at this 0.2 dollar range to 0.25. It was a beautiful build up. Now when I see build up, I know something is cooking. If you watch my last video, I talked about this pump happening and the target of 0.35, and yes, we achieved that target where we had a strong resistance, right? Where price gave us this M pattern pullback, right? So we had it coming back to hit that support. Now here is what the exponential moving average are telling us. It was quite clear that here we have the 20 exponential moving average being the white one, the 55 exponential moving average being the yellow one, and the 200 exponential moving average being the blue one. Now, long term, I'm looking at the 200 exponential moving average. Mid term, I'm looking at the yellow 55 exponential moving average. While in the short term trading, I'm looking at the 20 exponential moving average. And we have this golden cross of the 20 exponential moving average right here, right? It crossed over just at the 0.25, the same point where I said there was a resistance, right? Before it broke it, that's where the our build up, our accumulation zone was broken, because it looks like a descending and ascending triangle, right? Which was broken to the upside, right? An ascending triangle broken to the upside. That's what we saw right there. So we see it coming to retest. Like I told you, price always come back to retest breakout, right? So we see it coming back to retest this ascending triangle breakout, right? So it broke out and it came back to retest it. Before now, it is on its way moving to the upside. Now, mind you, like I said, it's going to likely react to this resistance like a sideways before moving up to the top of the resistance of the triangle. So what we are seeing here in terms of this golden cross is that we see that the 20 exponential moving average is holding quite well, right? So it crossed over the 55 exponential moving average. That's the short time is back on the bullish side. Then the pullback brought it very close to the 55 exponential moving average. But something is actually interesting is how price is being held by the 55 exponential moving average. Price is sitting on the 55 exponential moving average, printing dojis. That's a beautiful sign. It is sitting above it and printing dojis. It first broke through it, then came back right up and sat on it, then printing dojis. Now, dojis, I like seeing them on exponential moving average. And then this doji also is a sideways movement on the lower time frame. Yeah, that's what a doji simply means. Sideways movement, consolidation on a lower time frame. Because if I go to my 1 hour chart, you see the accumulation is going on. They are getting ready, the bulls, and they're going to move like this. Do you know why they are getting ready? Let me explain. Because of this resistance right here. You need accumulation to break it. They made the first attempt right here. They failed. Made another attempt. They failed. Another attempt. They failed. Now, mind you, they will not fail on the fourth attempt. Why? SRP bulls are going to break 3.5 soon, sooner than you think, because of this accumulation going on right here. I am very convinced that technically, when I see accumulation, I start seeing pressure. And the fact that this accumulation is building higher lows as it goes, it tells you the pressure is on the upside, meaning that they are gathering the strength to break 0.35 cents. That's what they are doing, just like they did here, right? So you saw this first touch here, you have the second touch here, you have the third touch here, and boom, they broke the resistance. That is what happened here. And why the accumulation was going on, it was clear you are seeing higher lows. This is the same thing that is printing out right here, right? The same thing that printed out here is already printing out right here. So what we're seeing is these bulls are beginning to cook to break 0.35 cents. So this might be your cheapest zone to buy SRP. Remind you, this is not a financial advice, right? Don't mind this, my drawing right now. But just know I'm trying to draw an ascending triangle that is broken to the upside, because there was a strong resistance right here on the lower time frame, 1 hour. This is 1 hour chart. It broke it to the upside and then sustained itself, came back trying to break it again. The 0.35, it failed, then it came to retest this breakout, right? So you can see this our resistance here has clearly turned into a support right here. That's what we saw. Our resistance clearly becoming a support right here, right? It's the support. Here it was a resistance, right? It was playing as a resistance, but once broken, it became the support. And SRP has made it